We are going to watch this video. It's only about 25 seconds long. Vivek is engaged in a brief conversation with an attendee of one of his speeches. And let's consider how it can be optimized for a caucus outcome, for a voting outcome. What could Vivek have done better? What improvements would you make? Let's watch it and come back and discuss.
You shook me to the core today. I'm a precinct captain for DeSantis, and you shook me to the core.
Okay, well, thank you.
Right.
If you're willing to come over and help us out, we'll take it.
You might get me there. I don't know.
Okay.
But, that was my brother that owns his partner here.
Good man.
And he built a lot of houses in the area too, in a dorm. He did
Okay.
a lot of good things.
Thank you.
But I'm going to get a lot of people. So good luck
I
to you.
appreciate you being here. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
We're going to break down this video into its component pieces. The first is going to be, you shook me to the core. The second is going to be Vivek's response to that. And the third and last will be the attendee's response to Vivek's response. So let's break it down into three pieces, and here's part one.
You shook me to the core today. I'm a precinct captain for DeSantis, and you shook me to the core.
Okay.
So first thing we notice is that the gentleman says he was shaken to his core. Shaken to my core. The person is now sharing the operating room environment of their mind. That person wants an inquiry. Otherwise, they wouldn't have shared it. They want to have that kind of discourse. I'm telling you this. I'm expecting you to come back and say that. Vivek has failed to make the follow-up rational inquiry. So Vivek could have simply just said, That's very thoughtful of you to tell me that. Thank you. Can you share with me what it was? What did I say? And then do some inquiry into why it shook them to their core. And that's it for part one. Let's go with part two.
Okay, well, thank you.
All right.
If you're willing to come over and help us out, we'll take it.
Okay, so we are now into part two. Vivek says, if you're willing to come over and help us out, we'll take it. I don't like his response. I think it's insufficient. It's inadequate within that context of what was occurring and its intimacy. If Vivek wanted to animate that person's contemplation of moving to the opposition side, moving to Vivek's side in the caucus, how could he have phrased it? Well, he needed to initially respond to that person's statement about they were shaken to the core. But let's say he missed that cue. What could he have done? He should have asked, what can I do to get you to switch sides? What can I do to get you to switch sides? You're inviting their response. Allows that person to have that introspection. Well, what can Vivek do to have me switch sides? Vivek, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked. So now it becomes kind of this free-flowing, fun conversation. Let's go next to part three.
You might get me there. I don't know.
Okay.
But,
Part three begins with the attendee saying, you might get me there, I don't know. So now we're coming to the end of the conversation. And by end, I mean, if it's not going to follow kind of this natural progression, then the attendee is going to lose interest, Vivek is going to be flustered, and they both kind of apparatically just walk away from each other, which is fine. It happens. And there might not have been a perfect way to resolve this, to get that person to caucus for Vivek. But that is not the issue. The issue is that Vivek did not respond. I understand he does a lot of meet and greets, so this is not a diagnosis of what came before or speculate on what might have come after. It's just on that very brief moment. So you might get me there, I don't know, is our last cue to say, well, thank you. What could we do to get you there? You have one last chance to inquire and allow that person that permission to have some introspection. Well, that's a good question, Vivek. What could you do to get me there? Let me think about that. It doesn't happen. So part three will end it for us because everything beyond that is just the congeniality that concludes such encounters. And that's it. This was fun. Bye.